I'm sitting next to a man here that I have a great deal of respect for, and I love this guy. And it just so happens that he's a great coach. So we have this amazing combination of character and football acumen and love and mentoring and leadership that we feel is super important for our program, our university, and all of Cougar Nation. I feel like Kalani has made an incredible commitment to BYU football. He's made a commitment to the student athletes. He's made a commitment to his staff. He's made a commitment to Cougar Nation. You can see and feel how Kalani has galvanized everybody around Cougar Nation to incredible heights where everybody's feeling great about the Cougs and the way they play the ball. So thus, we felt that it was imperative and very important that we made that same commitment back to him. And so today, I'm happy to say that we have an unprecedented contract with Kalani and BYU football that will keep him here for years to come. And we're so grateful that he is a coach for BYU that brings stability in a time where in college athletics right now, there's a lot of instability. And when you look around this program, you see student athletes that are calm and poised, that play and have fun and love the game and love to learn. And those are the fundamentals that Kalani has taught these players. And for me to feel it and for Cougar Nation to feel that love, we want to put it together and keep it rolling. I have great value for this man, for his wife Timberly and their children, the Sitake family, that we are now moving forward into a great future, moving one more year in independent football schedule and then into the Big 12. And there's no one else on the planet that we'd rather do it with than Coach Kalani Sitake. Kalani.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you. All right. First of all, I just want to express my appreciation and gratitude for the opportunity that I have to be head coach here at BYU football. But more than anything, my time here, being around such wonderful people and to work under President Worthen and his leadership in upper campus administration, and then with Tom Holmoe, our athletic director, and his staff here with our athletic department administration. It's been a pleasure for me, and I've learned quite a bit, and I've grown quite a bit. But it's been wonderful experience for me going throughout the past 6 years of progress and to be able to focus on our culture with love and learn, but also to feel the love and appreciation I have from them. I appreciate them, and I'm thankful that I get to work with wonderful people on campus. And with that being said, I am really excited about this opportunity to be the head coach and to have the stability that Tom mentioned. And this whole situation has never been about me. It's been about our program and specifically about our players. And so I'm really excited for the opportunity that we have with our coaching staff and our support staff and everyone involved in BYU football, specifically the players, the opportunities that they're going to have and the resources that they're going to have to get us into the situation to have success. And so I'm really excited about that. And finally, I mean, most of all, I'm just going to tell BYU fans I'm so happy. And before I say it all the time, but before I was a BYU head coach and before I was a BYU football player, I was always a BYU fan. And so I appreciate all the support that we have received from Cougar Nation, and warms my heart. I hope they know how much I love them, and how much our team loves them, and how excited we are to perform in this bowl game going into next week. And I think this is a good moment for us to be focused on the game and be focused on trying to have a wonderful moment in the Independence Bowl, and looking forward to this next week and the festivities and all that. But more than anything, I just want the fans to know how much I love them, and so thank you so much, and looking forward to this. Let's get this thing rolling. So, any questions? I know some of you might have a few for Tom. Oh, by the way, I wore 3 shades of blue to celebrate the moment, so thank you very much.
Thank you, Coach. We're all excited to have you, and congratulations. We'll start with questions from Alex, and then Jason Shepard, and then John Kuhn with Associated Press.
Hi, Tom. Hi, Kalani. Thanks for doing this for us today. Congrats, Kalani, on the new contract. Tom, I'm curious. You mentioned it was in the release, and then you mentioned it just now that this contract for Kalani is unprecedented. That's the word that you used. I'm curious what exactly makes it unprecedented. And as a mini follow-up, Kalani, you've been in the coaching profession for a while. You've seen a lot of contracts. Would you consider it as unprecedented?
I'll start. I feel it's unprecedented because Kalani and I got together with Brian Santiago, my deputy AD, and we started talking about the program. The program really starts with Kalani, but it also goes deeper than that. It goes into Kalani's coaching staff. It goes into his office staff. It goes on to the people around, the strength staff, the trainers. There's so many people that are involved in the success of this program. And when we started talking about the future with Kalani wanted to start with them. He didn't want to start with himself. And so I think it's unprecedented. I believe it's unprecedented because, one, we're able to move forward with our head coach leading the way in a long-term contract. It also is unprecedented that we have made the commitment to Kalani and his staff going forward, and for the rest of the program, that we're going to do the things that we need to bring BYU football into this modern age where we've been an independent and now we're going to the Big 12. And it's going to take a lot. It's going to take a concerted effort between our administration, BYU athletics, BYU football, Kalani and the staff. We're all in this together. And I think that one of the things that's really made me feel good about this whole thing is Kalani loves the department. It's so cool to see Kalani just feeling it with the other head coaches and conferring and consulting with, and them talking about the games and talking about their players. And it all felt so good that it's unprecedented because Cougar Nation wanted it badly. Kalani had made a commitment to Cougar Nation, and Cougar Nation has made a commitment to Kalani. And we just had to put that all together.
Am I supposed to add anything on that?
I don't know. You can see if Alex.
Did Alex want me to
follow-up.
add something on that?
Yeah, I just because you've been in the coaching profession for such a long time, and have seen many a contract as an assistant or as a head coach. I'm curious if you believe that this new contract is unprecedented, if that's your opinion as well.
I believe it is, for the main reason that it's not just about me. This is about the program and about the players, about the staff, and so it's to me that's what makes it different. Is I know that everyone, and a lot of times the head coach gets a lot of the attention, but for me it's more than that. It's the I know I'm the guy that stands out in front of the game and cheers, and I'm like, I get really excited and I dance, I do all that stuff because I'm a big time fan. I love watching our boys perform, but it's not a one man show. This is something that takes a bunch of people and a lot of sacrifices from a lot of other wonderful people I get to work with, and so this is getting them the opportunities and getting our players the opportunities, the resources, and that's why, in my opinion, for me, the unprecedented part is that it involves more than just the head coach.
Yeah, and let me follow up on that too. I believe that Kalani has dreams for BYU football, and we talk about those visions a lot. And so when we talk about unprecedented, it's about unprecedented about what we can do at BYU. We're not really, Kalani doesn't really concern himself with other schools and how they do it And it's more about what he and his boys are going to do. And I think that that's where the unprecedented statement comes from me, is that I feel that we're taking this to another level here at BYU.
Go ahead, Jason.
Kalani, both you and Tom have mentioned just how much, BYU fans have reached out and they wanted this to happen. But over the last couple of days, you've had so many current players, former players, recruits, transfers, all take to social media and talking about their support of you, not just now, but wanting you to be here long term. What does that support mean to you?
It already started. They didn't let us in until after it started.
The support. It's been really nice, and the this is so much fun because the fans and the alumni, and it's not just football, but it's just you can just feel the love from everybody, and I think our players they feed off of that. Our team feeds off of that. Our program does, and so why wouldn't the head coach feed off of that? Makes my family feel really wonderful as well. And I thanked a lot of people, but I'm so thankful that my family allows me the time to spend with everybody. Sometimes I put other people first, and they're the ones sometimes that have to share their dad or their husband. So I'm really thankful that I have a wonderful family that supports me and knows how important it is to be around the fans, and I think they enjoy it as well. But this is something that's just I feel so good, man. I feel so good about everything now, and going into our bowl prep and going to our practices. It was nice to share with the players the news that the commitment that I'm seeing and that we're seeing from our administration and from our school. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to getting to practice and working tonight and getting on and seeing a bunch of wonderful people in Shreveport.
Go ahead, John.
Well, as far as the new contract goes, what was the timeline for working on this contract, and was there a sense of urgency to get the details ironed out and get everything done as quickly as possible?
You want to take it or me?
Yeah, I think it's still everything's still a work in progress, and there's I can tell you one thing that BYU is in a situation now that they've never been before, talking about athletics, and what I'm seeing from the leadership, I'm being really impressed with. There's going to be opportunities for us to continue to be innovative and creative in how we do things and how we operate, and looking forward to seeing the wonderful things and the opportunities that we're going to give all of our student athletes, which means that extends also to our fans and to our students that are here on campus and our faculty and staff.
We'll have questions now from Sean and then Jake.
Yeah, Coach, congratulations on the extension, just like everybody else on this call again. But you talked a little bit about, obviously, your role, and Tom talked about your role, and we know about your assistants and A-Rod and Elisa and Lamb, all of them. How important is that kind of support staff structure and role of guys like Jason and Jack and John Swift and some of those guys? I mean, can we talk a little bit more about those guys and kind of what this means for some of them maybe as well as part of the kind of unprecedented nature of the announcement?
Of course. I mean, I think we have wonderful people that are behind the scenes. I'm glad you mentioned them by name, but that do a lot of the work that people don't ever hear about. And so this program doesn't work without those people that are in the background and don't really care to be in the spotlight, but do so much work and sacrifice so much of their time. And I want to express my appreciation to their families, our coaches' families, but also our support staff and their families for allowing their family members to to sacrifice a lot of their time for us. And whatever we can do to get them more resources, more opportunities to. I feel like we have a wonderful brand of football, and the more people we can add to it, the more it just grows exponentially in how we can reach different parts of not just the country but the world. And so whether that's in recruiting or that's in just setting the mission of our team and our vision of our team, the culture of our team, which is well in line with what the mission of the school and the athletic department, just getting that out there and doing whatever we can to promote it and promote the brand, and that's the exciting part for me and the exciting part for our support staff. It's just everything's going to grow. That's just going to happen naturally, and we've done some wonderful things with what we already have. And like I said, I've seen some wonderful things from our leadership in our athletic department, but we have an opportunity now going into the Big 12 in a year's time, right? Where we can get our brand going even stronger. And the brand is really strong because Cougar Nation is really strong. It's big time. So it's just giving us the opportunities to keep working and finding ways to innovate and create opportunities and more opportunities for a bigger impact and bigger influence.
Question, I guess, for Tom first, but Kalani, you feel free to chip in on this as well. But obviously, this is a deal for Kalani, Tom, but will there be additional funds allocated for assistants and off-the-field staff under this new deal?
Yes. It's not part of Kalani's deal, but part of our vision and how we put it together was their separate pieces that are moving forward.
Okay, so there'll be a separate, essentially, agreement for those other parts of this.
Right, and I would say that the assistant coaching pool is those contracts are coming together as we speak. So they'll all be done and renewed for January 1st.
Kalani, just on that, is that what you wanted? Did you want to have additional resources for your staff?
Of course, for the staff and for the players, and I think it's well aligned with what we want to do. We just want to do it. We've done it really well. We just want to keep doing it better.
Okay, next we'll have Jared Lloyd and then Mitch Harper.
Kalani, we've heard in the news across the country a lot of coaching contracts, coaching changes, and some of the dollar amounts have been eye-popping, and the greed is an interesting element. Greed/market value. How do you approach that? And I guess this is for both of you guys because you guys see it from different angles. But how do you approach that side of it, the market value of a major college football coach right now?
You want me to take it? Yeah, I will say I don't feel that the word greed would come into our conversation in this discussion. Really, we've had discussions throughout our relationship together from the time that Kalani came on as our head coach, and they're ongoing. I would say early in this season, Kalani and Brian Santiago and I started having conversations with John Swift, who's Kalani's chief of staff, about the future. And this was prior to the Big 12 announcement. So we've been having these conversations for a while, knowing that even if we were independent, that we still needed to grow and we still needed to develop. But from the time that it was announced that we were going into the Big 12, we've had conversations that have been ongoing. And it's like a company. We're trying to make decisions that are going to be efficient for our future success. And there are budget issues that come into play. We just talk about them. And we talk about where we can allocate our money and where we should invest it. And we know that we needed to make a bigger commitment because we are all on the same page as what it's going to take to be successful in the Big 12. It'll be tough. It's going to be a way tougher initiative than we've been involved with in the past. And we got to up the ante, not necessarily just salary-wise, but just in how we know that we're doing the right things with the right people in the right way. And that's just, I don't ever think that there was paper sliding back and forth across the table as much as we were just having discussions about what it's going to take.
With this new unprecedented deal, what do you believe BYU football can accomplish going into the Big 12 Conference?
Well, I'm going to say this. I really never make predictions about games. People, I say, hey, what's the score going to be? Are we going to win? And I think that I kind of follow Kalani's lead as he works with the football team and the coaches. And that is, he really believes in having the team prepared. And he's preparing them for a very, very high standard. So in order to do that, we're going to pick up and continue to grow in a lot of the different areas: strength and conditioning, nutrition, training room, recruiting. There's a whole list of things that we have penciled out. And I would say that if we do the things that we're committed to doing together, we're going to have success. And success, you just can't go, hey, we got to go win a bunch of games. You have to build a foundation, and you have to put people in those roles, and you got to have those people going in the same direction. So we're not starting from square one. Kalani has already got this ball rolling. We're going to keep it going in the right direction, and then we'll hopefully be able to change the trajectory to get where we all dream about going.
We've got time for a couple more questions. Patrick Kinahan, followed by Dana Green.
This message is for Tom. Tom, I was wondering, could you talk about how this budget, your football budget, compares to some of the other budgets in the Big 12?
Yeah, Patrick, I think it's important to note that we went about all of the budget items. So we talked about salaries, areas, in different areas or different commitments and outlay of money and funding. And this goes back to a combined effort where we looked at what other schools in the Big 12 were doing. We looked at some Pac-12. We looked at some of the other P5 conference. We looked about where we had come from. And together, we kind of came up with those numbers, and we're still working with those as to what we were going to need to do to get it right. And so I think that I wouldn't want to compare it to any one or any conference, but I think that we can look each other in the eye and say, we're on track. This is where we want to be. This is where we want to go. And if we have to adapt, we'll adapt.
Go ahead, Dana. Dana, we can't hear you. Dana, can you turn your microphone up? Unfortunately, we can't hear you. And let's go. I got a question from Ben Criddle, and we'll see if we can fix your audio somehow.
Tom, this question specifically for you. Could you put into perspective what this season, what Kalani was able to accomplish specifically this season, going 10-2 versus the schedule that he was able to face? And you've been there as a coach, as an athletic director. You were there as a player at BYU. We saw WAC, Mountain West Conference, independent schedules. Put into perspective just what that accomplishment meant and how that maybe contributed to this contract extension.
I feel that where we are in 2021 is on a journey. And this journey started for Kalani. It started for me in 78. When did it start for you? 90.
When I played.
When you started here, yeah.
94.
94. We come into this at different stages, but then we met up 6 years ago at BYU. And so we have these dreams and we have these goals that we want to accomplish together. He's the leader of this football team, make no mistake about it. I'm here to try to assist with all of our team and all of his staff. But where we are right now, I would say, is ahead of schedule. and that's a good thing. And I think that when I say it was a journey, I like the fact that there were some rough spots along the journey, because we had to get to figure out how we felt about different things. And now we know a little bit better. And so each game that I watch and each week that I see of practice with Kalani, I can see the growth and development. And so what we're doing is we're on this trail, this journey, and it's just getting stronger. And we needed Kalani to be leading the way. So, yeah, I mean, I think everybody's impressed with how this season went. There were some times in the season where it could have taken a left turn, but it didn't. We had some games that we might not have played great, but we had success, and we slipped twice. But those are things that we don't really hang on to and hold on to. Learn from them, and now we take them into the future. So I'm not really stuck on this year. I think it was a great year, and it's not over. We have one big game to play, and Kalani and his staff and kids are super excited about it. But the future is now, but there is a bright future.
And just to follow up real quick, how is it that BYU can put themselves in a situation as far as infrastructure and architecture in order to compete immediately? And this is a question for both of you guys. In order to compete and maybe even win immediately in the Big 12?
Well, I think the key is not just thinking that money is the main resource. I think that looking at the competitive advantages that we have here at BYU and what makes us unique. I mean, I'm just talking about if you're looking at the coaching, for me as a head coach, the amount of resources that I can reach out to as mentors. I mean, Danny Ainge is sitting right here, during this press conference, and Andy Reid, he and I keep in contact quite often. Steve Young. I mean, there's all these wonderful people. And I'm just talking about alumni in athletics, but Tom mentioned all the coaches that are here available. I mean, we learn and we collaborate together. This is a really cool family to be a part of. And so I think sometimes people think that resources means just money. For us, it's defining what the resources are and then taking advantage of it and making sure that we use it in every way possible to make sure that we get a step ahead. And looking at the differences that we have compared to other universities and how we can make those competitive advantages, we can widen the gap and actually make it so that it shows up on the field and in a lot of different ways for us in the classroom and in our culture. And that's the key here. And for me, it's as a leader. I mean, Tom mentioned it. I'm still learning. I'm still trying to get better, and I'm better now than I was 6 years ago. I can tell you that, and I'm going to be better. I'm committed to learning and getting better as we go along, and I'm hoping that the main goal of this is to lean on the resources that we have available to us to be innovative and find creative ways to take advantage of those, but also to make sure that we're up and running and with the rest of the competition. And then at the same time, let's maximize our potential in so many different ways. And that's we have a fan base that is incredible, and they are awesome. They're more powerful than I think a lot of people realize, and I'm going to look towards them to lead the way and to help us as we get to this competition in our next season, our bowl game next week, but also our 2022 season, and then going into the Big 12 afterwards.
Is that kind of a call to arms, if you will, to Cougar Nation? Is like saying, hey, you guys can also impact the football program within your sphere of influence and also within your expertise?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. The key is that it's like, hey, you are really powerful. Let's go to work. Like, let's do this all together. I can be a great support to them. They can be a great support to us. But I think it's also, I mentioned mentors in sports that can help us, but there's a lot of people and alumni and the people that love BYU. I'm talking about human potential. I'm talking about taking advantage of that. And maybe it's people that are like, well, I have some ideas here and there. And listen, we need everyone here to make it work. And I think the key is that I want to be here, and we have wonderful people that are here working with us. But there's a lot of people out there that know they can help us in whatever way. And it doesn't always mean dollars and cents. Sometimes it's just your time, your support. And I hope we can do it with a high level of optimism and positivity.
Kalani and Tom, thanks so much for your time today. We appreciate it, and congratulations to both of you.
Go Cougs!
Go Cougs, let's go.